Hello and welcome to Well 80 Pitch here in Olympia, Washington, home of FC Olympia Soccer and the Evergreen Premier League. We want to thank you for joining in, especially our visitors from the north, Port Orchard FC, newcomers to the Evergreen Premier League, but no stranger to the semi-pro, path to pro level of soccer here in Washington. Definitely has done wonders in the Cascadia Premier League prior to the EPLWA entrance. Kind of a tough go for both clubs starting off the EPLWA season. Port Orchard dropping against Bellingham United this last week, and as well as FC Olympia having a tough go against Skagit Athletic, drawing a point on the road, but both teams trying to find a win in this first ever EPLWA Captain's Cup rivalry. Just announced this week from both clubs, Port Orchard FC and FC Olympia, a Captain's Cup rivalry, home and away aggregate. And we're going to get started here with that Captain's Cup rivalry starting tonight. Here in a rainy Pacific Northwest, it has been all kinds of wet here. We just wrapped up a USL League 2 match with FC Olympia picking up their first win of the USL men's season, beating West Seattle Junction FC 2-1, goals by Devano. And it's kind of exciting to see this rivalry come up right after that match with the Captain's Cup and the Evergreen Premier League. Obviously, FC Olympia, no stranger to the EPLWA, the acronym for Evergreen Premier League. Since 2017, and Brandon Sparks, the founder of Old Town Artesians, rebranded to FC Olympia Artesians, and it's been a hallmark of the club ever since, playing a lot of local talent, SMU, SPSCC, Evergreen, a lot of elite high school talent. We even have some folks coming all the way from Portland and Vancouver. So exciting matchup here today as Port Orchard FC comes down to Olympia to get this Captain's Cup started. Referee is heading out to the center circle, about to start kick here, 3 p.m. Port Orchard in some wonderful, amazing PNW themed kits. It's kind of this dark forest green, looks awesome. I don't know if there's some kit folks out there that are really into it, but head over to Port Orchard's website, follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure and get your eyes on this amazing kit. Obviously, you should head to fcoli.com, check out the Taylor Oyster Pearl kits, which the men are in tonight for EPLWA, as we kick off here at Well 80 Pitch in Olympia, Washington, to start this Captain's Cup. SC Olympia in the attacking third. Port Orchard a little bit on the heels here in the first few seconds of this match, this Captain's Cup. Max Sampson, no stranger to this field, head coach at South Puget Sound Community College. Now first-year head coach at Port Orchard. This is home to SPSCC and the Clippers. He seemed to be waiting for a ball here. Port Orchard on the attack now. Right in front of the Well 80 Beer Garden here, supporting Oldie Soccer Foundation. Every beer that's purchased, all the margin goes back into the nonprofit that supports FC Olympia and their Artesians. Again, Port Orchard in a wonderful forest green kits. Check them out on Instagram. Follow Port Orchard FC. Max Sampson over here, head coach. The gaffer for Port Orchard shouting some instructions for the attacking third here as FC Olympia clears it way up the field, trying to find a post forward, but now in the mix now for FC Olympia in the middle of the field here. Coming out wide. Port Orchard, little defensive thwart there, moving up the field fast. FC Olympia trying to get some energy here in this first half. As we kick off, pretty rainy out here, folks, so you're going to see a lot of skipping and ball movement moving around pretty quickly here today. It's been raining for about 4.5 hours straight. A steady, heavy rain, and not light whatsoever. As the crowd fills in for this Captain's Cup for the Evergreen Premier League. If you're tuning in, thank you, Evergreen Premier League, for hosting this Captain's Cup on the FC Olympia YouTube channel. Corner kick coming up for FC Olympia. Lofting ball into the far post, but Port Orchard's keeper parries it out. It's going to be another corner kick. Tyler Adams, keeper for Port Orchard, pushing it out. Cross into the box. Oh, finds FC Olympia, but just mishits it off his knee. And Port Orchard clears a bit. We got a foul. It's going to be a Port Orchard free kick. Again, folks, thanks for tuning in. This broadcast is brought to you by Taylor Shellfish, title partner of FC Olympia Soccer. You can find them on the jerseys this year, on the Taylor Oyster Pearl kits, also the navy blue away kits. FC Olympia, a little through ball into the top of the box now. FC Olympia trying to get on the board early, cuts it into the middle, trying to crisscross across the top of the penalty box, but cleared out by Port Orchard. Perfect pass coming out of the back as they're about to cross the half line. Nice through ball up into the attacking third for Port Orchard, trying to make a break down that left side of the field, the west side of Well 80 pitch. Number 9, Pepe De Luna. Try to make something happen on that side for Port Orchard. And a big clearance from FC Olympia. Way out beyond the Well 80 pitch beer garden. Some fans braving the wet weather here. Port Orchard just being big here on the defense on that through ball. FC Olympia, though, stealing it right back into play. Ref is calling it still in play. Shot towards the near post. Great save. Gobbled up into the breadbasket of the goalkeeper for Port Orchard. Tyler Adams here. Port Orchard playing a little crisp game, efficient passing, moving into the middle third here. Oh, just a little errant there. Picked up by FC Olympia. Number 4, FC Olympia, Ryan Vu, POU. A lot of Pacific Lutheran players on FC Olympia this year. Ran wild in the first home game against Skagit Athletics, scoring 5 goals to start the EPLWA season. An early May 9th start. Actually went on the road up north to play Skagit and tied 2-2. Had to be a comeback. Skagit went up early. So both Port Orchard and FC Olympia looking to bounce back with positive points after Bellingham United blanking 2-0. Bellingham United, a veteran of the EPLWA. Nice through ball in for Port Orchard. Could be dangerous, but keeper coming in there for FC Olympia. A purple goalkeeper kit. Wyatt Thornycroft, keeper for FC Olympia in the EPLWA. Head coach for FC Olympia, Trevor Fettbrandt, asking the center for a card on a little dangerous play there. Free kick coming up for FC Olympia, though, just on the other side of the half line. Ryan Vu stepping over, number 4 for FC Olympia. Lofting ball into the far corner, trying to find captain for FC Olympia, Gavin McElroy. Throw-in coming in for FC Olympia. Port Orchard making a break down the field now. Oliver Morrison trying to make something happen. Sprinted about a good 15, 20 yards with the ball and turned it back into safety and trying to reset the button. Port Orchard trying to come across 2 wide open Port Orchard players here. Trying to make something happen. Number 10, Jaden Joseph. Big cross in. Ricochets into the top of the penalty box, but right into FC Olympia as they make it across the half line. Now, oh, and a through ball, and a flag is up for offsides. It's always amazing how quickly things can go from the attacking third to your defensive third, as Port Orchard was knocking there dangerously with 2 right wingers there about to make something happen, and a quick clearance out for FC Olympia. Seems to be pretty 50-50, pretty equal play right now. A little, both sides energized, trying to get positive points here in this early Evergreen Premier League table fixture. Shout out to the Evergreen Premier League, brand new rebrand that they did in the offseason. President John Crouch. And the brand new logo, some fun branding and logo, new colors that represent the Pacific Northwest, and this semi-pro men's league this 2026 summer. Port Orchard playing out of the back, comfortable for the keeper. And it errantly goes to Gavin of FC Olympia. Gavin's played several years for the Artesians, both indoor and outdoor. Considered a veteran now. Port Orchard with a header trying to deflect it out of danger zone here. Ooh, play goes on by the center. Some physicality here in the game to be expected in this Captain's Cup rivalry. Big clearance from Port Orchard into the half line. FC Olympia defender getting a little lucky, but pushing the back. Oh, through ball in. Oh, just offsides. Pepe DeLuna looking to make something happen early for Port Orchard on this wet May day. DeLuna seems to be tracking pretty well. Aggressive on that left side, forward here for Port Orchard. Made a couple good runs. They're looking for him. FC Olympia seems to be trying to match it a little better with their positioning, and the offside call there as FC Olympia is about to enter the attacking third here. Ryan Vu at a PLU. Smattering of players from PLU. Marvin Solom, Preston Solom, Ryan Vu. A lot of good players that are coming out of Pacific Lutheran University. Always in contention for postseason in the NCAA. It's nice to see both these squads, though, especially the head coach Max Sampson for Port Orchard, and you see Trevor Fettbrandt for the FC Olympia, and you see all these local-centric colleges everywhere from, Tacoma Community College, South Puget Sound Community College, Pacific Lutheran, Evergreen, SMU, St. Martin's, and Lacey, and it's really just nice to see all these players coming together. It's kind of like a regional collegiate all-star team. Port Orchard trying to make something happen, trying to find a Luna again, but just a little too far ahead on the clearance into the confident feet of Wyatt Thornycroft. FC Olympia trying to find some space here. Vu, number 4, clearing it on back. Preston Soam, number 11, also out of PLU. He has a twin brother on the team, Marvin. There's a mix-up in the goals that were scored in week 1. Same birth date, same last name, and it was funny. His brother got all credited for 2 goals, but Preston getting the captain's armband and the center back and a through ball from FC Olympia. He's trying to make a break. Oh, big save from Port Orchard. Point blank breakaway save for Port Orchard. Just a wonderful play on the ball. FC Olympia still in an attacking position. Shot coming in. Oh, and another big save. You have a busy goalkeeper here. Tyler Adams for Port Orchard. 2 huge saves. One a point-blank breakaway and another shot that was going in far post off the top of the penalty box. And FC Olympia seems to have a little bit of some momentum and some energy here in the attacking third. Max Sampson getting DeLuna ready for a big old clearance. FC Olympia cross coming in right in the center of the penalty box, but headed away. It's going to be a throw in Port Orchard. Decent little crowd here in a pop-up stadium. Fun fact for those that are tuning in, what you're seeing here is the Regional Athletic Complex. It's a City of Lacey-owned field with an Olympia address. And it is the only turf-lit soccer field in Thurston County. 250,000 people live here. One turf-lit soccer field. The rest are American football stadiums. And we're lucky enough to be here in FC Olympia. Techs put together this pop-up stadium. Takes about 3 or 4 hours, put it up, and then it takes about 2 or 3 hours to tear down. All the banners, all the power, all the scoreboard, everything comes down. So kudos to the FC Olympia staff and all the techs, especially the Brad Hansons and the Jesse Garamones. And the backup goalkeeper here for Port Orchard makes a save on the sideline. Port Orchard throw-in. About 15 minutes into this first half of play, the Captain's Cup rivalry. Again, that is Captain's Cup rivalry is going to be an aggregate between a home and away game for both these clubs. FC Olympia up first, playing host. It's been fun to see the growth of Evergreen Premier League and adding teams in, especially Port Orchard. Oh, looked like DeLuna was going to make a play on it, on a kind of an errant pass back to Thornycroft for FC Olympia, this goalkeeper, but DeLuna almost capitalized on that. But yeah, it's been fun to watch Port Orchard FC build their program. Very community-oriented, highlighting local businesses, schools, youth soccer. Great crowds up there for those games, and really putting pressure on all those teams that have been fighting for the Cup trophy for the Cascadia Premier League for multiple years now. And it's nice to see FC Olympia be able to play a caliber squad and management team and coaching team of Port Orchard and them entering the Evergreen Premier League. So it's really nice to see Port Orchard here and having the state come together like that. As we would say, and there's no bias here, but Evergreen Premier League is the the state's best semi-pro league. Wonderfully run organization. Port Orchard trying to make something happen in the middle of the field here, trying to switch the ball over. Daniel Aguilar Fuentes trying to make something happen on this right side. Him and Jaden Joseph, you can see there's kind of a little 1-2 thing happening here, trying to make something happen on this right side a couple times, but thwarted by FC Olympia. Alejandro De La Rosa. He's got the captain's armband for FC Olympia a couple times. Just lost the ball. P.O. about to enter the penalty box. Coming down into the near post. Ooh, and a block comes in from FC Olympia. Nice strategic timed tackle for the Artesians, and it's going to be a corner kick. Dangerous spot here for Port Orchard. Going to try and make something happen here in the 18th minute, approaching the 18th minute of play. Thanks for tuning in, especially all you Port Orchard folks that maybe couldn't make the trek down to Olympia, or those Olympia folks that maybe didn't come out and would rather watch from the comfort of their home. Come down, next 20 minutes, get yourself a cold beer in the Well Lady Beer Garden tent. Cross coming in the corner from Port Orchard, but cleared away by FC Olympia for a throw-in. Ball rolling up onto the hillside here, a Well Lady pitch. Gaffer for FC Olympia, Trevor Fittbrandt, longtime varsity coach here in Thurston County, has worked with our semi-pro Artesian teams for several years now. Looking to start a good tradition here with the Captain's Cup. Trying to get an early win in that aggregate. Corner kick for Port Orchard. Seems to be knocking a little. Like I said, the momentum seems to kind of be shifting back and forth, 50-50. 1 minute you think FC Olympia has been kind of dominating on the attacking third, but then just right away Port Orchard answers and gets the ball downfield to get some dangerous plays in. Corner kick for Port Orchard. There's the slow walk to the corner kick. Want to thank Cartwright Media and all the wonderful staff that here are working their butts off trying to make this stream happen. Oh, and a big cross. It finds the head of Port Orchard forward there, but just went over the bar. Wyatt Thornycraft came out strong calling keeper and just completely went by it, and that ball went way over his head. Port Orchard with an excellent chance to score off that corner kick. Got a little lucky there. A couple of those happen at games. So we got a sub coming in for Port Orchard. Number 18, Aaron Lopez. Nice and early, 20th minute. Wyatt playing short. Finding its way out of the back. Some folks sitting there in the Well Lady Beer Garden, Well Lady Brew House. If you're ever wondering why they're called Well Lady in Olympia, Washington, it's the 80th capped artesian well. They have natural flowing artesian spring well in their restaurant. And so they decided to call it Well 80 and start a brew house instead of just a formal restaurant. Knudsen family, Chris Knudsen, wonderful folks over there, longtime supporters of Artesian soccer and Path to Pro soccer here in Olympia. Head on down there. Great food, great beer. Gavin McElroy trying to find his way down the field. Gets a nice hard tackle. Port Orchard doesn't like it, though. They think that was a pretty good tackle, possibly with ball first on that, but center says it's a free kick. And a good position for FC Olympia. In the 21st minute. Like I said, just it's just been nonstop heavy rain. We're approaching 5 hours here at the field. USL had a game here just before this Captain's Cup rivalry in the Evergreen Premier League. Again, the Artesians picking up their first USL win of the year. Led on the backs of Michael Devano. Some goals there scored, beating West Seattle Junction. Free kick coming in here for FC Olympia and EPLWA. Tends it towards that near post. Another great save from Port Orchard. Tyler Adams. This is a great near post stop. He's been busy today. There's been a couple of really great saves to keep Port Orchard in the game. 0-0 currently. 22nd minute corner kick coming in from FC Olympia. Cross coming in right in the center. Big, strong defensive clear off of the head of Port Orchard. Just a wonderful clearance. That was a dangerous corner kick, too. Oh! Thought Port Orchard was going to get a chance there. The player going to get a little tip forward. FC Olympia trying to keep it in bounds there in front of the sound system. Gavin flicking the ball back into play, but pinball machine here. Pinball going back and forth between the players. FC Olympia ends up with it. Little through ball into the corner of the box. Trying to get across it. Oh, nice play there from the Port Orchard goalkeeper, Tyler Adams. Again, I think Adams has been this first half MVP if I had to vote for one or if anybody cared. But great play from Port Orchard goalkeeper Tyler Adams. Jaden Joseph over here trying to make a play with Oliver Morrison for Port Orchard, really trying to put pressure on FC Olympia, pushing them back.
Well, I have it hooked up with the Hollands and it's not blocking in there.
Ryan Vu playing a look at Port Orchard on the top of the penalty box here. Trying to find a low cross. Oh! This little came off a little outside the foot. Goal kick. So Port Orchard, it's been kind of just back and forth. A couple shots, a couple great set piece opportunities for both teams. Really up in the air here. Who's dominating the final third? Jaden for Port Orchard. This ball was coming right towards them, but errant little header goes right to FC Olympia as they start to enter the penalty box, but loose ball goes to Port Orchard. On that south side of the Well 80 pitch, the forest side that we like to call it, the forest, the green forest here with huge towering trees. Feels really like the Pacific Northwest here with this pop-up venue that we put together at FC Olympia. Jaden, number 10, trying to make a break for it with Port Orchard. Sends it in. They think it's offsides. Number 8, Oliver Morrison, post up there with the forward, but just a little, just maybe had one of those limbs offside. Nice hard tackle from Port Orchard. Trying to find something on that far left side of the field, the west side of Well 80 pitch. Through ball in. Another offsides call here. But Aaron Lopez really making a statement here. Nice little through ball. Man, it was about one step away from being right in front of Wyatt Thornycroft, the keeper from FC Olympia. 25th minute here. Port Orchard seems to have some good energy right now. There's a good hard tackle, good transition to the west side of the field, and they're trying to make something happen. Nice little through ball. Almost found FC Olympia on the other side of the field. This wet surface is making a little sloppy, but FC Olympia on the ball. Oh! Shot goes right into the hands of Tyler Adams at Port Orchard. Marvin Soam was the one that took that shot for FC Olympia. Like I said, the twin brother, Preston Soam. But Marvin Soam had a couple goals in the first game of the year. PLU. Cross coming in from FC Olympia. Trying to find the head. Marvin, or of Alejandro that time. Alejandro De La Rosa. He's been training a little bit with the USL 2 squad as well. First team for FC Olympia. So number 7, Alejandro De La Rosa. Been with FC Olympia a couple years now. Port Orchard switching around the backside. Aiden Harvey. Western Oregon collegiate athlete. Also played a little USL 2 with FC Olympia last year. Good solid player. Now calling Port Orchard home. Cross into the box. Oh, going to try and find the top of the box. And it's a goal! Port Orchard Aaron Lopez, the sub that just came on just a little bit ago from skipper Max Sampson. What a great sub. A nice goal here in the 27th minute. The first goal ever of the Captain's Cup rivalry goes to Port Orchard FC. Great goal from Aaron Lopez. If you want to watch the game again, check out the highlights, snip some things, put them on your highlights or put them on Instagram or anything like that. You can always tune in to our YouTube channel, We Are Oli, the FC Olympia official YouTube channel. Rewatch the goals and the saves. Make sure and tag us, FC Olympia. But Port Orchard on the board. 1-0 here in the 28th minute. A soggy May 25th Memorial Day. Kudos to all of our military, all of our veterans, and all of those that have fallen. So we can be here on this this land playing a great game of soccer here in Olympia, Washington. Corner kick coming in for FC Olympia. Trying to respond quickly to that Aaron Lopez goal for Port Orchard. Big lofting cross way beyond the far post, trying to find something. Shot comes in, and it goes deep into the forest on the south end of that well 80 pitch forest. Captain's Cup rivalry, Evergreen Premier League. Captain's Cup name originates from Captain George Vancouver, who's actually the explorer that found Olympia and Port Orchard. A unique name that we can call rivalry in this aggregate piece, home and away for Port Orchard and Olympia. Really neat history, founded by David Falk, founder of Port Orchard FC. Really great guy. Hopefully he's tuning into this now. Make sure you support Port Orchard. Make sure you get your tickets, your season tickets. Go online, get your swag. Make sure and support small clubs from all these communities. It's pretty awesome what Port Orchard's doing. FC Olympia trying to get on the board, dribbling almost 40 yards unscathed, but handed it off at the last second. Number 11, Preston Soham, had dribbled basically from the center circle into the penalty box and decided to finally give it away to somebody else. I was wondering if anybody was going to touch him. FC Olympia trying to find the response here. A free kick, Port Orchard. I want to thank our sponsors today for FC Olympia Soccer and supporting this home game for us. Ramada by Wyndham, the official hotel of USL Soccer and EPLWA. Wembley Soccer Shop, a brick and mortar soccer shop. Yep, don't go online and order your cleats. Don't go online and order all that stuff. Head over to Pacific Avenue in Olympia, Washington. Support an actual retail shop, Wembley Soccer Shop. Go say hi to Kurt Gress. Ember Goods Coffee in downtown Olympia. Lucky Dog Casino over there in Mason County in the Skokomish tribe. Go check out Lucky Duck Casino and the Drift Restaurant whenever you're hiking over in the Olympics. It's a great spot to go get food. Drift Restaurant, the Lucky Duck Casino. Port Orchard making a break down the left side, trying to find some action here in the corner. Big cross coming in. Oh, and it finds FC Olympia dodging a huge bullet there as a low cross came in, and Wyatt Thornycroft, keeper for FC Olympia, having a little trouble handling it, and went right to a Port Orchard forward, but just got a little underneath it, skied it over the goal. Could have been easily a 2-0 game here in the 31st. Port Orchard definitely putting the pressure on right now against FC Olympia. Andrew Lang losing the ball to Port Orchard right in the center here. Marvin Soham losing it. Port Orchard cross in. Looked like it was going to be one of those dangerous ones where if nobody goes up for it, it might hit that back post. But a goal kick for FC Olympia. And another sub coming in for Port Orchard gaffer Max Sampson. Number 4 for Port Orchard, Brian Montes de Oca coming into the game. Number 17, Samuel Mead, exiting the game. Been in a lot of action today. And the FC Olympia goal kick was sent out to a player on that sideline, and just an errant, like I said, it's very wet, been raining nonstop several hours now, and the ball just skipped right by that Oli player. Testament to just how wet this place is, but there's still folks here, which is very encouraging. Several people up in the stands and the bleachers and the pop-up stadium, so all these bleachers were all moved in by FC Olympia and donated from various youth clubs and schools in the area to try and make our USL and our EPLWA games a little bit more exciting with some seating on the hillside. Otherwise, it's just grass up there usually. So awesome folks in our community, especially Brad Hansen, one of the club ownership here, helping move all those bleachers in. Some physical play here from FC Olympia. This is the Captain's Cup rivalry here, so a lot of good physical play here as the center is getting control of that. Port Orchard's going to have the ball. And a free kick, looks like 34th minute here. Jonathan Mendoza. Free kick for Port Orchard is going to look to send it into that far corner of that penalty box. Sends it right into the middle. Perfect shot, but header into the safe arms of Wyatt Thornycroft, keeper for FC Olympia. Big throw towards Marvin Soham. Soham trying to turn it upfield. Ooh, just cruises right by that Port Orchard defender. A little through ball to Alejandro De La Rosa. De La Rosa trying to find another FC Oli forward, but Tyler Adams, like I said, if we had to vote anybody to have a first half MVP, just a great performance from this goalkeeper. 4 or 5 great saves and playing really strategically well in his positioning to make sure and head off any threats from through balls and various plays going forward for FC Olympia. It's been fun to watch. I'm looking at some of the coaches over here on the Port Orchard bench. Joshua Kotsui from Evergreen State College. No stranger to the Artesians either in the Evergreen soccer program. Now helping Max Sampson here as assistant coach for Port Orchard. Looking energized and confident with a 1-0 lead in the 35th minute of this Captain's Cup. Port Orchard with the ball, trying to find some. Alejandro De La Rosa just getting lucky on the steal there, but collides with a Port Orchard midfielder, but the center did not like the tackle on that. Alejandro De La Rosa had the ball, put it too far in front of him and tried to make up the ground and collided in a big, huge collision with Daniel Aguilar Fuentes. Gets a yellow card. Alejandro De La Rosa gets a yellow card for that challenge. Here in the 36th minute. Some folks hanging underneath the tents over here. Olympia Federal Savings, well 80. Tyler Adams sending a lofting ball into the top of the penalty box, and about 4 or 5 headers from FC Olympia to clear it out as they start to exit the half of the field, but a through ball is just heavy-footed and a little too far. Also, an offsides call right near the sound system on the half line over here. So strategic positioning from Port Orchard back line paying off. Pretty close game here. A lot of good chances from both sides. Obviously, Port Orchard capitalizing. Great sub from Max Sampson, sending in Aaron Lopez, number 18, getting the finish and the 1-0 earlier in the match. Tyler Adams with the free kick, goalkeeper for Port Orchard. Big old lofting kick into the Penalty box cleared out by FC Olympia on a header. Marvin Soam looking to find Alejandro De La Rosa's feet. With the yellow card, De La Rosa, it looks like he didn't want to get into that challenge and pick up anything else today. So looked like he held up a little bit on it. Port Orchard heading into that far right north corner. Daniel Aguilar Fuentes finding Jaden Joseph. Jaden Joseph trying to make it something happen down the middle line. Oh, a big tackle. Looked like a possible studs coming up. That would be a Captain's Cup without some studs coming up. It looks like that yellow card's coming out for Ryan Vu, POU player. And I'm not going to lie, that could have been a lot worse than a yellow with the bottom of those cleats popping up. But they don't call it the Captain's Cup rivalry for nothing. Free kick here for Port Orchard. We're approaching the 40th minute here. Wyatt Thornycroft, keeper for FC Olympia, trying to get the attention of his wall to move around. Number 20 for Port Orchard, Jonathan Mendoza standing over the ball, about to send it in. Cross coming in, near post. Oh, a little flick for Port Orchard. Thought it was going to sneak its way into the back of the net, but FC Olympia trying to clear it out. A little pinball action. Sitting here at Legends Arcade watching a little pinball. FC Olympia somehow ends up with it. Cruising down the far side of the well 80 pitch, trying to find something in the middle here. Number 15 for FC Olympia. Brandon Clough finding Alejandro De La Rosa. De La Rosa, captain for the last couple matches. Finding Ryan Vu in the corner. Ryan Vu trying to bring it down the line. Cuts into the near post. Cross in. Finds nobody other than a Port Orchard midfielder who's now making a break down the other side of the field. FC Olympia really trying to knock on that door and close this 1-0 gap. But just could not find anybody on that cross from Ryan Vu. Jaden Joseph for Port Orchard trying to find some help in the middle to advance forward, but intercepted by FC Olympia. Kai Paul from St. Martin's University. I want to say he's also had some international minutes. Really a great player. Cross coming in for FC Olympia, but right into the safe hands of Tyler Adams. As the rain continues to pour here in Olympia, Washington. I do see some bright skies in the western horizon, but no sign of letting up here. 41st minute coming up. This Captain's Cup rivalry in the Evergreen Premier League. 1-0 Port Orchard. If you're just tuning in, Aaron Lopez with the goal earlier in the game. FC Olympia trying to make a breakdown into the line. Cross coming in, low cross, but finds Port Orchard defender and a big clearance to Kai Paul for FC Olympia. Paul moving it back into a Preston Soam. Preston Soam moving it around to the left side to Ryan Vu. Great switching play from FC Olympia going coast to coast. Vu taking it down the line, trying to make something happen, but just puts it too far in front of himself, and it's a goal kick, Port Orchard. Head coach Trevor Fettbrandt making some orders here from the sideline. FC Olympia knocking on the door. You can tell Vu is really wanting to come down that touch line there and keeps cutting it across, and just been a little unlucky not finding anybody on the end of that. FC Olympia outside to Ryan Vu again. Let's see if he cuts it up that side. Nope, plays it safe to Alejandro De La Rosa. De La Rosa looks like he wants to cross it all switching field to Kai Paul. Paul brings it down. Little soft touch there. Wasn't the most confident touch. Soam to Soam. Those are the twin brothers just passing it to each other. Marvin and Preston. Switch out to Paul. Kai Paul with a cross, little tiny cross. Just cleared out by Port Orchard defender. Not too dangerous right now, but FC Olympia is definitely trying to make something happen. A little bit more energy. Big cross coming in. It's low, but Port Orchard again in the right spot each time. Good, confident, collected play from the Port Orchard defense. Again, some really big saves from the Port Orchard goalkeeper, Tyler Adams. A couple breakaway saves and some big diving saves. Free kick going to be taken by Adams himself. I want to thank Charo Mexican Restaurant on the west side of Olympia. If you're ever in town, head over to the west side of Olympia, kind of by the Capitol Mall. Charo Mexican Restaurant. Got wonderful food, great happy hour. It's a great nightlife, too. Bring your friends out. It's also family-friendly. Charo Mexican Restaurant. N1 goalkeeper gloves, the official goalkeeper gloves of USL Soccer and FC Olympia. N1 goalkeeper gloves. Make sure and head online. You can also go to FC Oli and get some discounts from them. FC Oli, Alejandro tried to make a break for it on the top of the box, but just loses the ball. On a big hit from Marvin Soam from POU, but just happens to get a little too much under it as it just kind of hits about 2 feet over that crossbar. But you can tell the FC Olympia players are really trying to get that energy into that final third. You can feel a little bit of that Captain's Cup pressure here in the waning moments of the first half, trying to get on the board, try to notch it up at 1-1, but just seems to not be happening. Oh, and a little through ball from FC Olympia. I thought I was going to find the feet of a post-up forward there, but went skipping on into Adams. The switch from Port Orchard. Just not finding the feet, but a little errant ball here to Jaden Joseph. Joseph cutting up, trying to find a little space on that touchline. Looking for the cross, but then cuts it back in. Couple give and goes. Oh, the FC Olympia defender bites on it, but the cross is deflected. FC Olympia ends up with a De La Rosa. De La Rosa trying to make a pass to some help here with Marvin Soam. Marvin Soam to Kai Paul. Paul trying to find somebody, but the Port Orchard midfielder snuck on him and stole the ball away. Oh, but Soam did the exact same thing here. Deflected it, stole it, sent it out to the wide. And the cross comes in, and it's a goal! A little back and forth play there, and somehow FC Olympia ended up with the top of the penalty box, and a little small cross came in. And it looked like Marvin Soam got the goal on that. No stranger to goals this year after scoring a pair in the first opening week, and we have a tie game, 1-1. Right at the 45th minute of this Captain's Cup rivalry game in the Evergreen Premier League. Exactly what FC Olympia wanted to do, responding to that early Port Orchard goal. And just like any rivalry game, it wouldn't be a rivalry game without a good tie at halftime and going in for that fiery halftime coach speech. Marvin Soam with the goal, Pacific Lutheran. Are we confirming that, Marvin Soam, Brad? I think it was number 10, Marvin. We always get this one messed up because twin brother on the team. Port Orchard trying to move it around now. Oliver Morrison. Throwing it to Soam trying to find Ryan Vu, but De La Rosa cutting it off, trying to turn and pivot here in the injury time of this first half. I don't know how much extra time there's going to be, but there's definitely been a couple minutes already, but a foul by Port Orchard. If you're just tuning in, 1-1, Marvin Soam. Yep. Marvin Soam just scored from PLU. Aaron Lopez for Port Orchard scored earlier in the game. We have a 1-1 tie here in the Captain's Cup. Expecting a whistle any moment now. Been a pair of yellow cards and some goals, so you can expect some time to go by for stoppage. Center checks his watch. Tyler Adams just brings the ball down. Goal kick. And the whistle for halftime. 1-1 here at Well 80 Pitch. Thank you so much for tuning in. This broadcast is brought to you by Taylor Shellfish. Taylor Shellfish Seafoods. Make sure and go online, check it out. You can get all kinds of fresh seafood shipped to your doorstep. You can also come down to Olympia and Shelton, buy some amazing oysters, clams, you name it. You even got smoked salmon, all kinds of delicious food. Make sure and support FC Olympia and Taylor Shellfish. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back in about 15 minutes here at this Evergreen Premier League Captain's Cup rivalry. And we're back here. The Evergreen Premier League Captain's Cup rivalry. Port Orchard FC visiting FC Olympia. We just began second half play here. All tied up 1-1. Goals from Aaron Lopez from Port Orchard. And a response from Marvin Soam from FC Olympia just before the whistle for halftime. It's been pretty back and forth here between Port Orchard and Olympia on a wet, soggy Pacific Northwest day. If you're just tuning in, been raining since late morning here in Olympia. Field is soggy and the ball is moving quite fast. Kai Paul with the ball right now, number 12 for FC Olympia. Plays at St. Martin's University in Lacey, Washington. Cross coming across the middle, but finds its way all the way on the other side of the west side of the field to Port Orchard. Ethan Peck moving it towards the backside. A big clearance coming out of Port Orchard. 50-50 ball ends up with FC Olympia. Number 15, Brandon Clough, ended up with it, but now it's going to be a Port Orchard throw-in. Head coach for Port Orchard, Max Sampson, making a few changes here at halftime. Trying to find a spark here in the second half from the first ever Captain's Cup rivalry in the Evergreen Premier League. We'll switch around the back for FC Olympia, trying to find someone in the middle, create some triangles, and create some movement up the field. FC Olympia comfortable just moving it back and forth on the back line. Decent little crowd here for the EPLWA Captain's Cup. You can tell there's some Port Orchard fans. Seen some garb. FC Olympia, little cross up to the top of the penalty box, tried to find the feet of forward, but errantly went to Port Orchard. Somehow ends up pinballing back to Port Orchard as Port Orchard now advances across the half line, trying to get some momentum to start the second half. Throw in Port Orchard near the corner flag, and they're attacking third. Well 80 Brew House, the official pitch sponsor of FC Olympia. Wonderful brew house serving all kinds of lunch and dinner, happy hour, and makes all their brews from Artesian Spring Well down there, the 80th Artesian Spring Well in Olympia. Port Orchard trying to fight there on the end line, trying to make something happen. Crossed up. Oh, spin move in the box. Looked like a nice hard tackle from FC Olympia. Port Orchard bench wants a penalty kick, but the center is staying true. Corner kick for Port Orchard. Nice hard tackle. Maybe you can press the rewind button and let us know in the chat. Let us know what you think of that. Is that a penalty kick or is that a corner kick? We want to know. Port Orchard looking for a cross into the box off this corner. Placed right in the center, but FC Olympia header clears it out. Brandon Clough with the ball. Switched it to the middle to Marvin Soam. Soam with the lone goal for FC Olympia today to tie it up in the 45th minute. Exciting Captain's Cup kind of action. Port Orchard throwing. As head coach Max Sampson cheers on the lads to get some energy going into this attacking third. The umbrellas are out in full force here on this wet P&W day. Jonathan Mendoza passing it down the line. Finds the feet of Ethan Peck. Ethan Peck transferring it back out, but gets the ball right back, trying to make a break down the left side. Passes it in the middle. Tried to find a little through ball, but errantly heads down into the safe hands of Andrew Lang. I've been pronouncing that name completely wrong. Andrew Lang, goalkeeper for FC Olympia, has played this whole match. I kept calling him Wyatt Thornycroft. You would have thought I just made up that name out of thin air, but that's his actual name. But Andrew Lang holding it together for FC Olympia in the first half and starting the second half in goal. Jonathan Mendoza down in the corner for Port Orchard. Port Orchard trying to make a break. Coming across the penalty box. Aaron Lopez with the goal for Port Orchard was dancing with the ball on top of the penalty box, trying to just find that breakthrough through ball or an opening for a shot, but it's going to go out for a corner kick as everybody seems to be searching for a ball and no ball exists. We don't believe in soccer balls in Olympia. We only believe in one. There's only one. Can't be anywhere else. FC Olympia trying to hold on to this set piece against this corner kick from Port Orchard. 51st minute, 1-1 if you're just tuning in. Short towards the near post. A really kind of a low, soft corner kick. Cleared out, but it's going to be another corner kick for Port Orchard. Again, this is the first Captain's Cup rivalry game on this aggregate system. First game is in Olympia, Washington. Port Orchard will be hosting in another 2 weeks. And then the award will go out to the Captain's Cup rivalry winner for 2026. It's going to be a throw-in. Ryan Vu with the ball in hand for FC Olympia, trying to find an opening. FC Olympia and their Taylor Shellfish Pearl Oyster kits. Changes color in the light. Pretty neat kit. Big shot coming in for Port Orchard. Actually, it was a nice rip towards that far post. But in the safe hands of Andrew Lang, goalkeeper for FC Olympia. Again, name error by myself. Been calling him Wyatt the whole first half. Andrew Lang. Nice save. An Olympia Federal Savings big save. Local banking organization that supports local soccer, the Holy Soccer Foundation. You can even get a FC Olympia Artesian debit card if you open up a checking account down there. They're pretty awesome. You should check it out. You can go online to fcoli.com and start your checking account with OliFed. Cross coming in from FC Olympia, but cleared away by Port Orchard. Trying to find a little space here. Ethan Peck moving down for Port Orchard into Jaden Joseph. Jaden Joseph been playing pretty well here for Port Orchard. Trying to get in the mix of a lot of things and opening up a lot of plays for him. Moving down that right side of the field for Port Orchard. The switch is on for Port Orchard, all going all the way back to the goalkeeper and immediately now on the other side of the coast. And a big through ball looking from number 21, Abukar Casey. But FC Olympia heading it back into play. And it looks like FC Olympia is going to press the reset button as they send it all the way back into a transition. Big lofting ball for FC Olympia, but right into the goalkeeper's hands for Port Orchard. A halftime sub as Joshua Adams enters the game. Again, Tyler Adams subbed out at halftime. Had a great first half in goal. But now Josh Adams in for Port Orchard at goalkeeper. Ryan Vu being being subbed out by FC Olympia. Kai Paul being a nuisance for FC Olympia. Trying to find a through ball into Liam Stoner. Liam couldn't get a play off of that, so Port Orchard clearing it out, trying to make their way up the field. But turns right back to FC Olympia. A little pinball action. Back and forth. Brian Clough with the ball, setting over, trying to enter that penalty box into the corner, into Liam Stoner. Number 8 sends it in low cross, but cleared out by Port Orchard in for a corner kick for FC Olympia. Here in the 56th minute. Still 1-1 if you're tuning in. Looks like the rain has stopped for a little bit. The first pause in the rain in about 6 hours. Pretty amazing. FC Olympia corner kick, first one of the second half here. All tied up in the 66th minute. A big lofting corner kick finds the feet of an FC Olympia midfielder. Trying to toss up the defender here. Shot goes in. Oh! Far post. An unbelievable shot from FC Olympia. Tristan Evans, number 5, kind of doing a Flintstone dance on the top of that penalty box, and somehow right-footed rips it right into that far post netting. And just like that in the 67th minute, it is 2-1 FC Olympia in this Captain's Cup rivalry in the Evergreen Premier League. Tristan Evans with what could be arguably the goal of the year. You know, we can say that only a few games in, that could be a goal of the year. That thing was incredibly hit from the far end of that penalty box. He was dancing around on top of it. You weren't sure if there was going to be a shot taken, and before you knew it, the ball was in the back of the far post netting. 2-1 FC Olympia. Tristan Evans, 5. Just confirming that it was Mr. Evans, and it was. The FC Olympia is in these really interesting pearl oyster kits where the numbers change colors, and so when you're sometimes trying to track who passed it and who shot it, it can be a fun adventure. Commenting on the kits as well as Port Orchard. Make sure and go on Instagram. Follow them on Instagram. Amazing new kit release from Port Orchard. These forest green P&W themed kits are pretty amazing. Check them out. Go online. See if you can pick up these brand new jerseys to Port Orchard. Support your local soccer club and all these small communities and local centric jerseys that are really fun to watch and they're really cool. If you're just tuning in, 2-1 in the Captain's Cup rivalry in the Evergreen Premier League. FC Olympia trying to find a third one here in the penalty box. And a cross in there. Finds Tristan Evans again, who just scored. Finds his feet, but comes back down. It's going to be an offsides.
For sure. Well, he has a Sony. That's why I'm a little confused. That's 2 go 2. So I was like, I think the menus are set up a little different, but other than that, you should know what's like there's 1 go 1. Yeah. I totally understand that. Totally get it. And you know, honestly, that camera, it looks really good. I mean,
Kenta Yumoto goes down from a hard tackle. Head coach for FC Olympia does not like it, letting everyone know. Kenta just got hit pretty hard. A free kick coming in.
1 go 1.
Actually, a throw-in coming in. Kai Paul over the ball. St. Martin's.
1 1.
Brandon Clough with it, settling it back down. Kenta back in the game, feeling a little bit better from that challenge. Again, the bench for FC Olympia didn't like the call. Preston Soham finding the feet of Tristan Evans. Evans out to Kenta. Kenta down the side to Kai Paul. Kai Paul trying to bring it back in. Slides it somehow just over the top of him, but great defensive play by Port Orchard, but it's going to be a corner kick for FC Olympia. 61st minute. Kai Paul got roughed up a little bit there. Tried to go sideline into the touchline, trying to move it up there, but good Port Orchard tackle.
Okay. 1 go 1. Take camera position here, Richard.
Big, long cross. Port Orchard clearing it out. Luckily, the header went out as it looked like it was going to go into that far post. And another corner kick awarded to FC Olympia. Nice little Evergreen Premier League crowd in this pop-up venue here, Well 80 Pitch at the Regional Athletic Complex in Olympia. Some folks hanging out, checking out the Captain's Cup rivalry. First game ever in this rivalry series. Low driven corner kick cleared out by Port Orchard, but ends up with FC Olympia. And it's going to be a goal kick for Port Orchard. Again, just before this game, a USL League 2 match between West Seattle Junction and FC Olympia. And the Artesians picking up their first USL win of the year. Goals by Michael Devano. Picking up their first win. A little slow start for the USL first team for FC Olympia. Dropped 4 in a row. But finally beat West Seattle today. 2-1 in front of a good FC Olympia crowd here. Port Orchard. Little through ball. Finds the feet. Tried to push it just past the FC Olympia defender. Pinballs around the players, but somehow FC Olympia is ending up with it right. And then right as I said that, right back to Aiden Harvey. Aiden Harvey, of Western Oregon. Great player. Played a little USL 2 with FC Olympia last year. Big clearance from FC Olympia. Alan Berrigan, who just checked into the game for FC Olympia with the ball, headed into that final attacking third. Berrigan, no stranger to the Artesians. Has played Arena, has played Evergreen Premier League, and even suited up on the USL League 2 squad in 2025. Berrigan, you would almost say it's a household name for the Artesians. Getting some of his first minutes with the Artesians and Trevor Fetbrandt's EPLWA squad here. Alan Berrigan went to Evergreen State College. A lot of alums around here coaching, playing, and also current student athletes playing in the Evergreen Premier League out of Evergreen State College. Playing for Steve Schmidt. Gaffer over at Evergreen. Nice guy. Make sure and support your local colleges. Everything from St. Martin's, SPSCC to Evergreen. A lot of great little programs. Make sure you get out to them and support them. Port Orchard into the corner, just out of the reach. Just a little too hard on that through ball from Jaden Joseph, and it's going to be a goal kick. FC Olympia and Andrew Lang. Some subs coming in for Port Orchard. Zachary Cadlack is coming in. Number 5. Number 9, Pepe DeLuna coming back into the game. And number 7, Juan Lopez. In memory of referee Craig Dean on the backside of these really amazing forest green. Sound Pest Control is on the front. Title sponsor for Port Orchard FC. Make sure and support your local clubs. Make sure you get your replicas online. Make sure and follow Port Orchard FC on Instagram, as well as your FC Olympia counterpart and the EPLWA and our main account. We are Oli. Andrew Lang over the ball for goal kick. I'm going to play it short. Kai Paul ends up with it. SMU player. Brought up to Tristan Evans, who arguably sent in one of the best goals of the year for Evergreen Premier League. Ripped into the far post netting. About a 20-yard shot. I'd turn it off and turn it back on. I had to do that the other day, the whole thing. Scoreboard troubles at this little pop-up stadium in Olympia. We put everything together. We even have to provide our own power. It's really an interesting spot. There's multiple generators running, and we provide our own scoreboard and our own soundboards and all kinds of things. Speaker system. As FC Olympia is moving the ball around here in this Evergreen Premier League matchup against Port Orchard. Newcomers, if you're just tuning in, Port Orchard just entered the Evergreen Premier League after some very successful years in the Cascadia Premier League. First year, Port Orchard coach Max Sampson trying to make some waves here in the EPLWA. Tough matchup last week with Bellingham, but 67th minute here in the Captain's Cup rivalry. As it looks like FC Olympia's game day tech, also ownership board, Brad Hansen fixes it. And FC Olympia enters in for a 1-2 and just slots it into the back of the net. 3-1 FC Olympia. FC Olympia did a little 1-2 at the top of the penalty box, and there was just nothing the defenders could do off of that. It was perfectly executed, and then slotted home into the far post netting. The 67th minute, FC Olympia has gone up 3-1. Again, this Captain's Cup is decided off aggregate, home and away totals. As we find out who scored that goal for FC Olympia, as we've been unable to see the number. Jean Dottie. Number 9, Jean Dottie scored. Just like we were saying, it was a really excellent 1-2. As the ball flies way over the fence line, over on the other field over here. Kenta Yumoto trying to make a play on it as the ball rolls over by us in the media tent. Voigt, the official ball of Evergreen Premier League Soccer this year. Make sure and check them out and support Voigt and the Evergreen Premier League by getting your bundle of balls in your bags. Andrew Lang receiving the ball. FC Olympia just kind of sitting back right now in the 71st minute with a 3-1 commanding lead right now. Alan Bergen, though, crossing that half line. Sends it right into Jaden Joseph of Port Orchard and deflects out of bounds for a FC Olympia throw-in. Brandon Clough sending it back to Kenta. Kenta looking to find something open, finds Rankuan. Back to Clough. Clough with the ball, looks up immediately, trying to find the feet of Berrigan, but getting turned away. What is that? Oh, the front. Port Orchard, though, gets the ball, sends it right up the field in a dangerous position. Find the feet of Pepe DeLuna. DeLuna back in the game after taking a short break. Kenta ends up with it, trying to clear it. And the big 40-yard clearance volley. But Port Orchard ends up with it, and some 2 or 3 headers away, and Kai Paul ends up clearing it to Tristan, trying to find Tristan Evans up the field. But back into Port Orchard, moving it around. Port Orchard looking to get a spark here in the second half to respond to a couple goals that have been scored by FC Olympia. And Port Orchard went up early with an Aaron Lopez goal. And it's been 3 unanswered since in the 72nd minute. Still early in this Evergreen Premier League table. Everybody just starting out. We're here on the... Some teams are in the 3rd week of play. Some teams like FC Olympia are in the 4th week and looking to start strong. And this new Captain's Cup rivalry, probably going to be a bit different story at Port Orchard when FC Olympia has to travel up there in the next couple weeks. Again, the rivalry is based off of aggregate goals between home and away.
What are the chances that I do an absolute perfect throw?
The rain that had been falling all day long here seems to take a timeout. It's been not raining for about a good 15 minutes now, so it's been very nice to see as some of the USL crew that was here putting the USL game on earlier starting to break down some of the beer garden and other things like that as this game is winding down with only a handful of minutes left, about 15 minutes left. Throwing right to Port Orchard head and brought all the way up the field to them. Port Orchard, big tackle on Port Orchard there. And we see the center kind of reaching into his back pocket looking for something. But Port Orchard player is down. Looked like he got clipped in the shin. But looks like he's doing okay. He's getting up. Center is bringing over the possible investigation ensuing, and a yellow card does come out to number 2. What's number 2's last name? I'm just asking, what's number 2's last name? Aranjo? These are all handwritten, so there's no last names on it.
Now you can go ahead too. Stay right there. There you go.
Number 3 entering the game. Adrian Erdahl. Port Orchard trying to find something here. A big striking hit there, trying to make something happen. Just went a little too high over the goal, and it's going to be goal kick FC Olympia. The field seems to be getting brighter with the break in the rain. In the 76th minute here. 3-1 if you're just tuning in. FC Olympia in the light pearl blue kits by Taylor Shellfish. Port Orchard in the forest green, trying to make something happen here. Is a little volley, luckily for FC Olympia, right into the safe hands of Andrew Lang. Big throw out to Kai Paul. Perfect throw as he brings it down. As Port Orchard is still knocking on the door with shots and trying to pepper that FC Olympia defense. But luckily that half volley just kind of went right towards Andrew Lang's body and was able to scoop it up as the ball careens out against the light pole here at the Regional Athletic Complex for an FC Olympia throw-in. Sends it on back to Preston Soam. Preston to Clough. Big old switches on from Kenta Yumoto. Out to Kai Paul. Paul moving back to Berrigan. Berrigan switching upfield to Kenta. Kenta swings it all the way to the side of the field. Kenta switches it back out to Kai Paul. Kai Paul moving out. Shoots just wide towards the scoreboard. Surprised he didn't hit that antenna on that scoreboard. But nice to see the shooting from Kai Paul, trying to make something happen in the 77th minute, 3-1. Port Orchard trying to get a little lively here, trying to send it up into the attacking third. Lofting ball, trying to find Jaden Joseph. Ball in the hands of Joshua Adams, second half goalkeeper here today for Port Orchard. Wonderful first half from Tyler Adams. First half goalkeeper for Port Orchard. He was busy in goal, made some really nice saves, and was in some really good positioning to stop FC Olympia in that first half. So kind of a different story here as it sits 3-1, but definitely some excellent play from the goalkeepers at Port Orchard. Throwing for Port Orchard. Approaching the 80th minute here. Jaden Joseph trying to make some magic happen in the corner. As he cuts into the touchline, finds his way all the way in the middle of the penalty box. FC Olympia just dancing around him. Jaden Joseph, what an excellent play for Port Orchard. Port Orchard trying to move it around. It's going to be a free kick FC Olympia. Someone moving it back. Trying to find the feet. Berrigan. Berrigan trying to make it, but Port Orchard ends up with it. Out wide to Kai Paul. Kai Paul kind of skies it. Tristan Evans finds the ball in the penalty box. Shot comes in, but just about 10 feet above that crossbar. And it'll be a goal kick Port Orchard. Looks like FC Olympia is going to be subbing out their goalkeeper with 10 minutes to go in the game. Wyatt Thornycroft. Nice game from Andrew Lang, subbing off. Goalkeeper for FC Olympia, letting in one goal in 80 minutes. It was a good goal by Port Orchard. Well earned. Port Orchard putting on some pressure here. Trying to find a spark, get a goal here, and try and close the gap against FC Olympia in this Captain's Cup rivalry. Through ball to Tristan Evans, who at goalkeeper is about 20 yards out from his line and meets it just before Evans got there. Evans has this sneaky speed as Port Orchard heads down the east side of the field here. Pepe de Luna trying to battle FC Olympia down that side. And it's going to be a goal kick for Thornycroft and FC Olympia. Port Orchard making a break down the left side. Shot comes in, blocked by FC Olympia. And a big save from FC Olympia. Port Orchard really knocking down this last few minutes of this EPLWA match. Trying to find a spark here. Clearance out by FC Olympia. Port Orchard with the throw in. Kent bringing the ball down. Found Berrigan's feet. Berrigan trying to move it around. Port Orchard getting in the way. Looked like it was going to be stolen there for a second. Kent somehow ends up with it. Moving the ball around. 6 minutes left on the clock, plus a little stoppage time. 3-1 here if you're just tuning into this Captain's Cup rivalry game for Evergreen Premier League. Berrigan trying to find the ball here. Sends it down the middle, but ends up with Port Orchard. Port Orchard looking for the turn here. Through ball up. Pepe de Luna trying to find the top of the box here to the penalty box. Looking for an opening. Moving it out wide to Jaden Joseph. Jaden Joseph looking to take it down the line into the touchline. He's done that about 8 times today, and he's done a great job doing it. It's just been that final little piece, trying to find that cross or that dribble down the line. Trying to do possibly a short corner kick here from Jaden Joseph, but opts to take the bigger hit Heads towards the middle. Looked like there was a little half bike going through, a little scissor, but did not ended up connecting. The ball goes errantly out of bounds. Goal kick, FC Olympia. 86th minute here. 3-1 Artesians of FC Olympia. The ball goes careening out of bounds into the Port Orchard technical staff. The Voight soccer balls from Evergreen Premier League. Looks like the center says it's going to be retaken. Maybe some interference or encroachment. FC Olympia head coach Trevor Fentbrandt making some final orders on the game with a couple minutes left. Preston Solon moving the ball around. Switches it across the field. FC Olympia trying to make a break down that right side, but intercepted. And fresh restart for Port Orchard, trying to find a little momentum, a little energy here at the final waning moments of this Evergreen Premier League match. Currently, right now, looks like it might be an FC Olympia starting off on the right foot in this Captain's Cup rivalry. But not if Port Orchard has anything to do with it, as they try to do a give and go there. Deflected off FC Olympia. A shot just goes right over the crossbar. You can tell Port Orchard's definitely got some momentum and energy right now. It's just got to translate into some goals here as the visitors from the north. First time meeting in league play ever in their franchise history or their club history. They've been in opposite leagues till this point. FC Olympia has been in the Evergreen Premier League since 2017. Port Orchard, somewhat a young club, has been with Cascadia Premier League for a few years. Done really well there, first place, and got some medals and trophies in their name, and everybody's kind of moving towards Evergreen Premier League, the leader in Washington-based semi-pro soccer. Make sure and go online, check out Evergreen Premier League on Soccer Shift. Wonderful website put together by the league. Stats, schedule, rosters. There's also articles. You should also follow Evergreen Premier League on Instagram, EPLWA. Also follow them on Facebook. Make sure you stay tuned into all the games, the schedules, the fixtures, the tables. Make sure and support your local clubs, whether you're a Port Orchard fan or FC Olympia fan. Make sure and get your tickets. Support the club. FC Olympia somehow ended up with the ball about 6 yards away from the goal, and a low cross comes in. Oh, and a big foul. Just kind of an unlucky timing on it, to be honest with you, but it's going to be a penalty kick awarded by the center for FC Olympia here as we approach the 90th minute. Already up 3-1, and potentially the final nail. The center is having a good conversation with both sides down by the penalty spot as the scoreboard from my vantage point clicks away. Time is clicking away. What's that closing time song, Brad? Closing time. As the 90th minute approaches, Brad doesn't listen to pop music from the 90s, only hard rock. Penalty being taken by Kai Paul, St. Martin's University.
Have some fun, Josh. Go, Josh. Let's have some fun, buddy.
Josh Adams in goal as the technical staff from Port Orchard giving some pep talk. Port Orchard goalkeeper is actually having a great day. A lot of good saves, a lot of good positioning. 90th minute penalty kick here in this Captain's Cup rivalry. Kai Paul steps up to the shot and puts it into the corner. Josh Adams thought the hips were going one way, and Kai Paul buries it actually really nicely into that side netting, running towards running towards the fan section. There's some high fives with some younger cats over there. And I think FC Olympia players are enjoying this 4-1 lead in the 90th minute. This is the first game of an aggregate rivalry cup between the two clubs. It's the first time that they've, like I said, met in a league play like this, formal franchise with the Evergreen Premier League. Port Orchard kicks off, sends it into the corner right towards Kai Paul, who just buried that penalty kick. And that is the game. The center. Final whistle here in Olympia, watching a well 80 pitch for FC Olympia in the first round of this Captain's Cup rivalry between Port Orchard and FC Olympia. 4-1. Some fantastic goals scored here today. I'd say the shot of the day comes from Tristan Evans with a far post rip from about 20 yards out. Good goalkeeping play from both teams. A lot of great saves. But at the end of the day, the first win of the Captain's Cup goes to FC Olympia. We want to thank Cartwright Media and FC Olympia and the entire crew at Cartwright Media for working through all kinds of interesting camera and audiovisual cabling and all kinds of interesting things going on today between the USL game and this Evergreen Premier League to bring this broadcast. We thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Port Orchard. FC Olympia heads up to Port Orchard in 2 weeks to complete this Captain's Cup rivalry. And that's it from here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Follow both teams on Instagram and their YouTube channels. So long, folks.